All right. So there's the usual three stories. And this episode, I'm going to be spending most of my time on just one story. It's probably going to take me probably 50% of the time. So, if I do seem like I'm going long on one, I do have other stories. It's just there are a lot of points I have to make concerning the main story. All right. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let's get into it. All right. So this is from abcnews.go, and it's an interesting story and one that brings up many different topics. Okay, here we go. Girls soccer team is yellow carded after wearing equal pay t-shirts. Okay. Players from a high school girls soccer team in Vermont were penalized after they revealed a message promoting equal pay under the team jerseys during a game, the team's coach said. The team had approached Burlington High School soccer coach Jeff Hayes several weeks ago with an idea to reverberate the message first promoted by their heroines, the U.S. women's national soccer team, Hayes told Good Morning America. For Friday night's game, which was senior night, the entire team, as well as the coaching staff and members of the crowd, wore the custom-made white t-shirts adorned with #EqualPay, Hayes said. After the warm-up, the girls placed their jerseys over the shirts to comply with the bylaws of the Vermont Principals Association. But after a late goal was scored with 3 minutes left in the game, some players took off their jerseys in excitement. The fans were just absolutely going crazy and began chanting equal pay, Hayes said. However, the officials ran over and issued 4 yellow cards for unsportsmanlike conduct over the excessive celebration. The penalized players had to sit out for some of the game, but were eventually allowed back in, Hayes said. Members of the team admitted that they got carried away by taking their jerseys all the way off, but said the message outweighed the penalties they received. It goes for everyone, every girl, every woman, the world, player, Helen Worden said. It's not just about sports. Friday night's game ended in a tie, but the team feels as if they won in the spirit of spreading the message. They now have sold more than 700 of the shirts, inviting men and boys to pay 16% more, which represents the average pay gap in Vermont, according to the team. The Burlington High School boys soccer team has even worn the shirts in solidarity. Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy and his wife Marcelle I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, were among the purchasers. Leahy tweeted a photo of the couple wearing the shirt saying, Marcelle and I stand with you. Okay. The referee who issued the yellow cards even bought a shirt after the game and told the players he's excited to wear it, according to the team. The money made in the sales will go to support youth soccer leagues in the community. They did such an amazing job with getting involved in the community. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. I don't know all the ins and outs of the rules, but I believe that this article is mistitled. Okay, because it says girls soccer team is yellow carded after wearing equal pay shirts. I don't believe that to be the case. The girls took off their shirts. The girls took off their jerseys. That's what I believe got them penalized. I don't believe it was the message. That's just me. I don't believe it was due to the message, but that's just me. I don't know all the rules. I don't know the technicalities. So I'm putting that out there. But now here are many of the points that I have to make. One, I appreciate that these girls, that they spoke freely and stuff like that. You guys know I'm a huge proponent of free speech. Even when I think that they are wrong, I still believe you have the right to say something. Free speech gets really hazy when it comes to school, and it's something that it's kind of hard to do, and it's just kind of hard to find that happy medium that works with everyone. Because as I've said, there are schools where, you can't wear hats, unless it's school colors and it's plain. Like my high school, you couldn't wear a Raiders hat. And it was just like, because the reason that they said was because it's gang affiliation. And so, you had that, and then obviously there are people who disagreed, especially Raider fans, which I hung out with a lot of Raider fans during, middle school and a little bit of high school. So, there's that free speech issue. But let me say this. There was an article that was released in, I want to say July. Yeah, July 8th. And it's by Sophia Carbone. And it's called "There Should Be Equal Pay for the World Cup. That means paying men more." Okay, the United States women's soccer team just won the FIFA Women's World Cup against the Netherlands. The left was more ecstatic over this than they were during the 4th of July. The crowd traded a USA chant for one saying equal pay. And by the way, you can find this article on humanevents.com. The soccer equal pay controversy began making headlines in March when 28 of the U.S. women's team sued the United States Soccer Federation over institutionalized gender discrimination. The 28 include the team's leading players. There is a pay gap in soccer, no doubt, but to the dismay of social justice warriors, they have incorrectly identified the victim of the skewed pay. It is, in fact, men who are not earning their fair share comparatively. Leading up to the Women's World Cup, and especially now that the U.S. has secured the win, the pay gap conversation has snowballed into one that grabbed the attention of Congress. Over 50 legislators signed a letter addressing this supposed institutionalized gender discrimination. Amongst the legislators is Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, who stated, "The women make just as much of a sacrifice, put in just as much mental and physical energy, absorb just as much risk of injury as men who play for our national team, yet when you break it down, a women's national soccer team player earns a base salary of $3,600 per game, while a men's soccer player earns $5,000. Okay. Now let me just say something. He talked about the sacrifice, the mental and physical energy, the risk of injury. Here's what you have to understand. Money is made in sports. One of the ways is through eyeballs. How many people, and I've said this before in different episodes, how many people are watching you? How many people are watching you guys play? How many eyeballs are looking at your product? I mentioned this in the WNBA episode. And, they kind of talked about, we're not getting paid as much. We're not getting what we deserve. And it's like, okay, no one is watching you guys play because people aren't interested in what you have. Here's what we need to understand. Here's the thing. It's not about wins. People think it's about wins. It's like, oh my God, they went undefeated. They should be getting as much money as the men. And it's like, no, it's wins. Wins don't equal revenue. Wins can help you get revenue. That is true. Because when you have, you're winning, people kind of tend to root for you and people tend to watch you more. So that can bring in revenue. But if wins do not equal revenue, okay, primarily it's about eyeballs and, merchandise, people buying your products. You don't walk down the street and see a WNBA jersey. I've never seen an Elena Della Donna jersey. I've never seen a Sue Bird jersey walking down the street. I've never seen that. I see Kaepernick jerseys all the time. He's not even playing. I see Kobe jerseys. He's not playing anymore. I see Michael Jordan jerseys. He hasn't been playing for a long time. You have to understand it's about eyeballs, and it's not about. Chuck Schumer missed it. It's not about sacrifice. It's not about mental and physical energy. When it comes to playing the sport, yes, those are important factors. Absolutely. You do need sacrifice. You do need mental and physical energy. It's about, putting your body on the line to help your team get the victory. But when it comes to making money, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to dollars and cents, those factors don't matter. They just don't. They sound nice, but you're not making the argument. This is from the same article. The Huffington Post threw out some numbers commonly used to propagate the pay gap myth. They reported U.S. soccer's women's salaries are approximately $30,000 less than the men, in addition to earning smaller bonuses. U.S. Soccer awarded the men's team a $5.4 million bonus after it lost in the round of 16 at the 2014 World Cup. It awarded the women's team $1.7 million when it won the entire 2015 tournament. But when you figure revenue into the equation, the money that drives the financial reward, the math doesn't add up. Forbes' Mike Ozanian helped set the record straight when the lawsuit was first filed. Referencing the Women's World Cup in Vancouver 4 years ago, Ozanian said, the Women's World Cup brought in almost $73 million, of which the players got 13%. The 2010 men, listen to this. The 2010 Men's World Cup in South Africa made almost $4 billion, of which 9% went to the players. So let's just do some math. We're gonna do some math, okay? We're gonna do some live, on the air math, okay? So we're gonna do 4 billion. Okay, so we got 4 billion, and then we're gonna do divided by 73 million. Okay. So the Men's World Cup made 54, and I believe I have this number right, but they made 54.79% more money than the Women's World Cup. That's what you need to know. The Women's World Cup brought in $73 million in revenue. Okay? The men, we're going to round up, brought in $4 billion. I don't know if you're good at math or if you're really bad at math, but $4 billion is a much bigger number than 73 million. Okay? So the women got 13% of their revenue. The men received 9% of their revenue. I mean, my goodness. That's huge. In yesterday's World Cup, participating teams received over 22% of the revenue, whereas men only received 7% of the revenue in last year's World Cup in Russia. Women are actually earning over 3 times more than men. That changes your perception, doesn't it? It's about how many people are watching you. It's not wins. It's like this. I hate to bring Little League into this, but it's like this. So baseball's going on right now, okay? Let's say let's say there was a situation. Okay, I'll put it like this. Let's say the Yankees were going to be in the playoffs. I mean, the Yankees were going to be in the World Series. They're out now, but, whatever. So the Yankees are doing their thing. I think they're out. I don't know. I'm going to use a different team that I know is out. So the Dodgers are out because Kershaw once again did his thing in choking. But anyway, that's not the point. So let's say the Dodgers were they'd won 500 of their games. So they went 81-81 because they play 162 games. Let's say there's a little league team and they go undefeated. And they win everything you could possibly win. Are we saying that the little league team should be making more money than what the LA Dodgers are making? Just because of wins? That's not what it's about. It's about eyeballs. The NBA tends to do really well. I mean, it gets better every year, but they do especially well when the Lakers are in the playoffs, the Celtics are in the playoffs, the Knicks, and just these these old teams, just these really classic storied franchises. Okay, this year's finals that just took place, it didn't do as well, ratings-wise. You know why? Because people don't care about the Raptors. The Raptors won it. Yes, they did. Congratulations to Toronto. Good for them. But in the grand scheme of things, no one really cared. Canada cares more about hockey. That's their thing. It's not about wins. There's so many other factors you got to look at, people. Okay, look here's this article. Here's this article. All right. And I just find it amazing. I find it amazing. People talk about gender. People talk about, the wage gap myth. And it's usually women who talk about it. Because they feel that some feel that they're suppressed and oppressed and, all these things that, men are just putting women down and they won't let us rise and, we can't be equal to men. That's just what they think. Did you know that there are occupations where women make more than men? Did you know that one of those jobs is modeling? Female models dominate the industry. They dominate the industry. If you looked up highest paid models in the world, it'd be a long time before you got to a man. I can't even think of a name of them. I could name like probably 30 female models right now. I couldn't name a guy. I couldn't. This is from a website called allmyfriendsaremodels.com. Okay? And it's titled, Here's Why Female Models Make More Than Male Models. This is by Jessica Frost. The modeling industry is one of the few industries where women dominate and make up almost 100% of the highest paid spots. It will take a while to list off all of the mega models who are making bank, yet I could probably count on one hand the number of wildly successful male models. I mean, good for her, because I can't think of one. I can't think of one. The whole equal pay debate is a whole other article, but it is kind of great to be part of an industry where women aren't paid less than men simply for being women. The reason female models are paid more though it is unfortunately a very predictable and stereotypical answer. To put it simply, women are easier to sell to and tend to most definitely spend more money on fashion and beauty than men. Because that's the main market. Okay? It would be great to be able to tell you that female models get paid more because they work harder and are more valuable, but in reality, it comes down to marketing and money. And look, you're going to have to forgive me for all the stereotypes in this article because unfortunately, a lot of them are reality. I want you to listen to this next paragraph. This explains it perfectly. Jessica Frost hits the nail on the head in this next paragraph. I almost don't even have to read the rest of the article. When a man goes shopping, he walks into a store he likes, he picks up 2 pairs of jeans, a few t-shirts, button-up shirts, maybe a couple of trendy jackets, and there, he's set for the year. That, she gets it. That is what we do. We just don't care about fashion as much as women do. Here ladies, so most of my audience, you guys are men. But I do have, about a third of my audience is women. Okay. So listen. Most, how can I put this? Here's how men think, and here's how men go shopping. Men, we are problem solvers by nature. That's just our thing. You talk to any guy, that's just how we're wired. That's why we're more likely to give you advice than to just, let you talk. It's like, okay, so you have this problem. The guy is like, okay, how do we fix the problem? Your feelings are nice, but they're not going to fix the problem. That's just how men are wired. We're problem solvers. So we go into a store and we're like, okay, I need this, and this. We'll just do a grocery store. We'll just create a simple list. I need milk, eggs, and bread. I need those 3 items. I go in there and I just get those 3 items. And then I go to the self-checkout or I go to the cashier, I pay up, and I'm out of there. It's that simple. Okay, that's how men shop. We have a plan, we write down our plan, we have the plan, we go and execute the plan, plan is finished. Okay? Women, here's what she writes. This is exactly what she does. Women, on the other hand, visit multiple shops, have dresses, shirts, skirts, shorts, pants, jeans, and accessories to buy, and all of that again for a different occasion. Men keep it simple, whereas women research before they buy. They're more influenced by trends and brand names, and they have a tendency to indulge a little more than men. It's that simple. Women do all these looking. They're looking for brand names. Oh, that's why, women will ask, oh, who are you wearing? Because they like the look of something and they're like, oh, what brand is that? Who created that? Who designed that? Men don't care. I have boxers from Costco. Seriously, I have boxers from Costco. I love them. But would a woman do that? Not likely. I mean, obviously this isn't all men and all women, but this is just this is the rule rather than the exception. So these female models make more than male models. They just do because they're the ones who are influencing, women more. Guys, we look at a model, we're like, oh, she's sexy. That's really all we see when we see that. We don't really care too much about what she's wearing. It's like, yeah, that adds to it, but it's like, oh, she's hot. But women, they see it and they're like, oh, okay, so she can wear that. Women will underestimate their size. They think, oh, okay, she can get into that. I'm somewhat close to that. So they will go down in size and say, "Oh, okay, I think I can wear that," and then they'll just do all of this stuff, and it's a joke. And that's just how women are wired, and that's okay. We just have to understand. And here's what she says. Here's what Jessica Frost says. Fashion brands know this. They know that there's a lot of money out there in females' wallets waiting to be spent, and they know they have stiff competition in the market. So what do? They choose a model that aligns with their key market, someone the people they are selling to like, and stick their face all over their ad campaigns in the hope of influencing women to shop with them. Major fashion conglomerates pay millions of dollars to sign a model to be the face of their brand. When you look at their figures, though, the cost of buying a model's representation is only a fraction of what they stand to profit off of the relationship. I mean, it's the beauty industry is an estimated $445 billion industry that is continuing to grow year after year. It's just how women are wired. It's just how you're wired. And so, anyway, going back to this gender wage gap thing, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like it just the idea, it just doesn't make any sense. The idea of just paying a woman less just because they're a woman doesn't make any financial sense. For a business, it makes no sense. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. It's like this. I've said this before. If the gap were true for the reasons that it's true, that just because they're women, if that were true, just because they're women, all businesses would mostly hire women. They would almost never hire a man because they would be able to just get away with paying a woman less than having to pay the man. If it worked like that, that's what businesses would do, because businesses are trying to maximize their revenue, minimize their losses. That's the point of a business. That's their number one goal. And to just discriminate against women by paying them less just because they're a woman is stupid. It's stupid. This is from CNBC. 10 jobs where women earn more than men, according to Glassdoor. This was published of March 28, 2019. Okay? Across the United States, women still earn less than men, taking home an average of 79 cents for every dollar a man receives. Now, obviously, I've gone into that before, where it's about, occupation, hours worked, willingness to travel, things like that. Okay? So there are social reasons. Okay. But the gender pay gap is shrinking. 3 years ago, it was a 24.1% difference. And in some industries, the trend has even flipped, with women receiving greater salaries than their male peers. Interesting. That's according to a new analysis by Glassdoor of more than 425,000 salaries shared by full-time U.S. employees. When Glassdoor compares workers of similar age, education, location, and experience who hold the same job title, the gender pay gap falls to 4.9%, meaning women earn 95.1 cents for every dollar a man does for the exact same work. On average, in 2011, the adjusted pay gap was 6.5%, or about 29% higher than it is today. But in 10 occupations, such a gap is non-existent. Instead, women actually enjoy a pay advantage, or a reverse gender pay gap, says Glassdoor. The advantage is relatively minimal compared to the one men enjoy in all other professions. In the occupation most generous with female salaries, women earn on average $1.08 for every dollar earned by similar men working the same job. But in the role that most heavily rewards men, the pay gap reaches 26.6%, meaning male pilots earn roughly $1.27 for every dollar a female pilot makes. Do you want to know why that is? That's because male pilots take more flights. They fly more. They're willing to go on longer flights. As I said before, women just prefer to be near their family. They prefer to stay near home. They want to minimize travel. I want to ask you this. How many female pilots have you ever seen? Think of every flight you've ever had. Was the pilot or the co-pilot a female? Some of you are having a hard time thinking of a time. And if you've never been to an airport or you've never really flown, the odds are you're very likely to have a male pilot. Why? Because men are just more willing to travel. Being a pilot is a lot of time away from your family. There are usually more female flight attendants than there are male flight attendants. And obviously with piloting, there's math and science involved and just things that men are more geared towards. And then you have the female flight attendants, which are more geared to hospitality and service. And okay, what can I get for you? What kind of drink do you want? Are you comfortable? Are you okay? Things like that. Okay, here are 10 jobs where women out-earn their male coworkers. Communications associate, I should say. The gap is 1.1%. Military officer. Shocking, 1.5%. Solutions specialist, 1.5%. Purchasing specialist, 2.5%. Logistics manager, 3%. Social worker, 3%. Inventory specialist, 5.6%. Field services, 5.8%. Research assistant, 5.9%. Number 1, merchandiser, 7.8%. Merchandiser has been a top paying role for women for a number of years. From 2006 to 2015, women earned 7.6% more than male peers, before rising to a 7.8% difference more recently. But other fields may have made some big changes in the past couple years. Between 2006 and 2015, men earned 11.5% more than women for performing the role of logistics manager. Now women earn 3% more than men for such work. Inventory specialists underwent a similar transition, moving from paying men 4.8% more than women to awarding women payouts 5.6% larger than men. So, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. When women feel that they're making less in a certain job, they're upset. But there are occupations where they just get paid more. There are just certain jobs that are just better suited for certain people. It's just that simple. To discriminate off someone just based off a gender for a job it's just dumb. It's just dumb. Just think about how money works. You want to just forget if you're a business. Forget if you're a business. Just you as a person. You want to have more money coming in than you have money going out. That's why no one likes living paycheck to paycheck. Because their expenses, equal their income. Okay, no one likes that. People want their income to be greater than their expenses. That's why one great tip is living below your means. How much do you make here? How much is your income? Okay. Keep your expenses at least below that number. So you always have more money staying with you than you have going out. It just doesn't make any sense to just give someone less money just because of their gender. It makes no sense. Men would be trying to find jobs all the time that could pay well. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. Now I'm going to say this about the girls again. their high school. They took a stand. They said what they said what they wanted to say, and I completely commend them for that. They're good looking. They have a great future. Student athletes usually, being a student athlete does help you in your career. It can really help you because it teaches you about teamwork, working hard, sacrifice, and all of that. They teach you great characteristics. They teach you great traits. So I hope the best for these girls. I hope their season goes well. But anyway, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Okay. So don't, I know I talk about this a lot, but it's just frustrating because there are areas where women don't complain because they're making more, but when they're making less, they think, oh, it's because we're a woman. It's just annoying. It's just, okay. So that's that story. I told you I would take about most of the time on that story. Now, here's the thing. Here is a story from Fox News that I can't, it's not a funny story. It's not a funny story at all. But I couldn't help but laugh. So you can call me mean, you can call me cruel, all of that. You just, okay, here we go. As I said, this is from Fox News. This was from Sunday. This is from Sunday. Dog runs over owner with four-wheeler in Alabama accident. A dog was being blamed for an accident in Alabama in which her owner was run over by his four-wheel all-terrain vehicle. The man, whose name was not released, was seriously injured in the incident, which happened Thursday in Loxley, a local television station reported. The man pulled into a bakery on Highway 59 with the pooch tied to a leash, the station WKRG-TV reported Saturday. When the dog tried to run off, somehow the leash became tangled with the throttle. The acceleration threw the man to the ground and the vehicle then rolled on top of him, according to the station. The highway was shut down so that a chopper could land to airlift the man to the hospital. Cops took custody of the dog for a brief time. WKRG reported she wasn't hurt. Well, I would imagine not if she was the one who ran away. Okay. That's all the article says. But I just gotta be real here. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of dogs. I'm not really a fan of animals. I don't care for them. I don't think you need them in today's society. They just seem unnecessary. You can have them, obviously, but I just think it's a waste, of money. If people say, oh, I want a friend. You want a friend? Get a human. Find a human. Seriously, find a human. There's 7 billion out there. I'm sure you can find one. Okay, so I'm looking at this story and I'm thinking, well, here I personally, I gotta be real. After this situation, if I were first of all, I can't even envision myself getting a dog. I told you, unless, my wife and kids just, nagged me to get one and they just did it for years and years and years on end. That's the only way I could see myself getting a dog. But I'm going to put myself in this poor guy's shoes. If my dog ran over me, well, if my dog is the reason that I was ran over, I gotta be honest, and you may call this mean, but I'm not gonna abandon the dog, but But I am going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it. Obviously, I don't believe the dog meant to do it. I don't believe that. I don't believe the dog was plotting in her mind, you know what? When he steps out, the second his back is turned, I'm booking it. And, just so, I'm going to tie my leash around the throttle, and when he turns his back, it's going to be off to the races. I don't think this dog was thinking that. But I just got to be real here. I would be bitter against this dog. I would. Now, you guys may say, oh, you're mean, you're heartless, you're horrible. Hey, man, I don't like getting run over. That's just me. That's just me. When it comes to choosing between being run over and not being run over, I would choose to not be run over. Okay, so that's it for that story. Now, the 49ers. They're 6-0. But they beat the Redskins by 9 points. 9. It took Robbie Gould. It took three of Robbie Gould's field goals to do it. So here's what I'm saying. I'm not big on the 49ers. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Here's their schedule. Here's their upcoming schedule. So they're currently 6-0. Next week, on the 27th, next Sunday afternoon, they play the Panthers at San Francisco. Then they play at Arizona. Then they host the Seahawks. And, well, let me say this. After the Cardinals, they have a bye week. Or no, excuse me, they don't have a bye week. Yeah, scratch that. I don't know why I just said that. Oh, I see why. The Cardinal game is the Thursday night game. Okay, so 49ers, I believe, are going to beat the Cardinals. I'm just going to say this. Don't be surprised if the 49ers lose to the Panthers. I could see it happening. It wouldn't surprise me if the 49ers won, but it also wouldn't surprise me if the Panthers beat them. Now, on November 11th, the 49ers play the Seahawks. Now, that's a game I believe the 49ers are going to lose. That's just me. I don't see it happening. I don't see the 49ers finishing the season undefeated. Okay, Cardinals. Then so they host the Seahawks. Then on the 17th, they host the Cardinals. And then the 24th, they host the Packers. I believe the Packers are going to beat them because Aaron Rodgers is unbelievable. And then they go to Baltimore to face the Ravens. And then they got to go down to the Mercedes-Benz Dome, take on the Saints. Then they host the Falcons. And, rip Matt Ryan, by the way. And then they host the Rams. And then they go to Seattle. They go to the 12th man. And I don't see them beating the Seahawks. So I'm gonna go through these games. I'm just gonna go through these games. Stay with me now. Who have the 49ers played? The Buccaneers, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Browns, who could still possibly go to the playoffs. I think it's unlikely now, but okay, the Browns. Then they played the Rams, then they played the Redskins. The 49ers have played no one. Let me tell you this. If you're a 49ers fan, please don't fall into this, delusion that, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. Please don't do that. I don't want you to do that to yourselves. That's painful to do. Okay? Just look at who you've played. Be honest with yourself. Have we played anyone? No, we haven't. We haven't. It's just that simple. And I don't see, here's the thing. Right now, the 49ers have the best, defense against the pass. They're fantastic. Okay? But look who they've played against. The 49ers have the best have the third best total offense. And this stuff is according to NFL.com. The Ravens are at 450.7 yards per game. Cowboys at 443.8. 49ers 408 yards. Right? A little bit behind them is the Chiefs. And then just behind the Chiefs are the Seahawks. I just don't have faith in the 49ers. And I'm up here with 49er fans. I'm in Sacramento. So, a lot of the fans are like, Oakland and stuff like that. And, Oakland's garbage. So we already know that. They got spanked by Green Bay. But, I see some 49er fans and they're becoming a little bit arrogant. And I just, remember, the Bible says pride comes before the fall, or pride, a haughty spirit before the fall, pride comes before destruction. Okay? 49er fans, calm down. You haven't played anybody. I'm a Patriot fan, and we've kind of earned our arrogance. I mean, we played tonight against the Jets, which we should win, but we're going to here's the thing. We're going to New York. We're going to East Rutherford, New Jersey, and we just kind of struggle there sometimes. So I think we're gonna win. But if we lost, it just wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. But we Patriot fans and, the Patriot organization, we have a right to be arrogant. Personally, I'm not. I'm not an arrogant Patriot fan. And I don't know any arrogant Patriot fans. This is just our norm. We're used to this. We understand where if the Patriots will always be they're always going to be in the running. If we don't make it this year, we'll be back next year. As long as Belichick and Brady are together, we have confidence to know, okay, we will make it to the AFC Championship. That's just our mindset. At a minimum, we're going to make it to the AFC Championship. We may get blown out the water, but we will be in the playoffs and we're going to make it fairly deep. That's just how we think. All right? But 49er fans, yes, you're undefeated, but you barely beat the Redskins, who, remember, they just barely fired Jay Gruden. Okay? You beat them by 9 points. 3 field goals. 3 field goals. And mind you, it was tied for the first half of the game. Robbie Gould didn't hit that 28-yard field goal until 5:28 into the third quarter, or with 5:28 left in the third quarter. It just, no. You're not it. I just don't want to see 49er fans get depressed and all of that. I just, just be wary. Just be wary, okay? Just watch yourself. hope for the best. Could you guys make the playoffs? I think so. You have 6 wins. Okay, I think you're gonna finish with a winning record. So, I think worst case scenario for the 49ers, this worst case scenario, okay, if Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy and the defense, keeps on clicking, which the defense is looking overrated right now, okay? But if things just stay clicking and things just stay working, I would say at the worst case scenario for the 49ers is they make the wild card and get knocked right out. To me that is the worst case scenario. So I'm pretty much guaranteeing that the 49ers make the playoffs. All right. So that's really all I have today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.